What's up, y'all? It's your girl J. Renee with Prison Riot Radio. I hope that you're doing well. Today we're speaking with the brother by the name of Michael Helms. He is another person that we're talking to under the installation of Sentenced Too Young. We're going to learn a little bit more about him and his situation more particularly, and dive in a little bit more
from a North Carolina correctional facility
into the science of it all. But how you doing, brother? You all right?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I appreciate you for taking the time to share your experiences with us and your story with us. Thank you very much for that. So,
thank you for letting the world know our story.
For sure. So we're gonna jump right into it. Tell the people a little bit about yourself and where you from.
All right. I'm from South Carolina. I was raised in a decent childhood until my parents got divorced, and they both kind of took that bad, started using drugs, and there was a lot of violence and stuff. So at a young age, I experienced a lot of this craziness going on, and I carried that in to my childhood and into my teen years.
Yeah.
I was a decent student, and until I got to about 10th or 11th grade, and then I dropped out. Partying became a full-time job, and that's pretty much how I got down the wrong path.
Okay.
Drugs.
How long have you been incarcerated?
13 years.
Okay. And when did everything go down with you? How old were you?
I'd say really it started in the beginning of high school, just not really knowing who I was and trying to figure that out. And, it seemed like I got more attention when I did crazy things and I partied. Everybody thought I was cool, so I started using drugs, but not really realizing I was using that for a coping mechanism to the pain and the anger I had. And really, I held it together for a couple of years, but about 16, 17, I really started really just falling apart, and that's when I dropped out of high school.
Okay. You say you've been incarcerated for 13 years. How long were you sentenced with?
Did you say how long was I sentenced to?
Yes.
22 years, 22 to 28 years.
Okay.
The mandatory minimum sentence, 22.
Wow. I know a lot has changed for you in 13 years, compared to then to now, who have you become?
Well, I've become a person who's kind of aware of my emotions and understanding that I don't need to use drugs and I don't understand what's going on, and just I guess just the reaction to instead of thinking about something, when I was younger, I just reacted.
Yeah.
I was really emotional. And now, I guess, having the experience and understanding of who I am and how I react to things and just being aware, it's much easier to, talk yourself down and be reasonable.
Right. So when you first entered prison, was it immediately that you started saying, oh, wow, I need to make this change? Or was it something that gradually happened over time, or was it something that happened and said hey man, I need to think of things a different way?
Yeah, great question. When I was in county jail, I definitely was this is not for me. This is so there was an immediate want to change, you know what I mean? So that didn't take long. They initially charged you with the death penalty, and you start really thinking about things, and I promised myself if I get a chance to, come home one day or whatever, I'm going to do everything in prison I can to change. It's a promise I made to myself.
Okay.
I took the step gradually.
Yeah. So how has it been as far as, just family support when it comes to your incarceration?
Our family, it's just been okay. My father's probably been there for me the most. My mom came back in my life about 7 years into my sentence, and we're pretty close now. So it's been up and down, but steady from some people.
Yeah. So, is there anything that you have going on in particular now, like that you do with your spare time that you find particularly helpful or that can help you grow as a person?
So about almost 8 years ago, I joined this program called ABLE. It's called At Both Ends of the Leash, and we train service dogs for people with disabilities. And that gave me a chance to really have a purpose while I was in prison, and I could affect people not only beside me and help them through the things that I was also struggling with, but also help people who are out in society who I never will see, you know what I mean, otherwise, but I'm still helping them by training this dog for them, help them live an easier life. So that path really set me, into having purpose in here, and like that was central for me. Because I get bored and I start getting into bad things and I'm bored. So for me to be driven by something, it was much easier to change in that type of environment.
Yeah, for sure. I know that there is a lot of talk when it comes to people under 25 being sentenced
This call
to.
is from a North Carolina correctional facility.
People under 25 being
Sorry,
sentenced.
did you repeat that again?
I said, I know it's been a lot of conversations as of late about people that are being sentenced that are under the age of 25. The whole science of it all. Science shows that the brain is underdeveloped, especially the parts when it comes to decision making, impulse control, and things like that. I think if many people are honest with themselves, they made a lot of mistakes that they would have done as a teenager that they wouldn't think of doing as an older person. What is it, or if anything, is there anything that you want to say to the general public just about giving people a chance that were sentenced to these long sentences at such a young age?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I didn't really start thinking about even beginning to really develop who I was, who I want to be until my mid-20s. And I think it comes with everybody in life. They're not who they are when they're very young. 18, 19, you're trying to figure out the world. Even in the 20s, you're trying to figure out where your place is. And then, like, if you're using mind-altering substances like drugs, you're really farther back from that understanding. And so I think if everybody could really just understand this, like, when you're a child, essentially, you make these mistakes that you can't even understand what you're doing at that moment in time until later on. And I don't think somebody should be judged on their worst moment in life, because all it is a moment. You know what I mean? A bad moment of judgment, and that dictates who they are for the rest of their life. Especially if you see them understanding that and actually beginning to take steps into being the person that they want to be or who they should be.
Yeah. I agree with you there, bro. Tell the people how they can get in contact with you if they want to reach out or want to support you.
My name is Michael Helms. Last name is Helms. My office number is 1309046. I'm at Nash Correctional Prison in North Carolina.